Welcome, dear audience, to another episode of the Longevity and Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Claudia from Brizelaga, here to bring you the latest insights, learnings to improve your health, life, and happiness for longer. Thank you so much for being part of this tribe, and make sure to sign up for my weekly free newsletter at llinsider.com. My guest today is Dr. Nayan Patel, a well-known pharmacist, health consultant, and the founder of Auro Wellness, a company dedicated to enhancing health through innovative glutathione delivery systems. His innovative work has changed the way people think about improving health and longevity by raising natural antioxidant levels in the body. His 12 years of clinical research and expertise focuses on the importance of glutathione, and often referred to as the master antioxidant, which plays a crucial role in detoxification and overall health maintenance. He has developed products like Glutaril and Glutaril Plus, which are topical sprays designed to deliver high doses of glutathione directly to the skin, enhancing absorption and efficacy. Please enjoy. Welcome to the Longevity and Lifestyle Podcast, Dr. Patel. Nayan, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here today, so thank you for inviting.
Oh, my pleasure. So, Nayan, I want to dig into what inspired you to focus your research on glutathione, and how did your journey in pharmacy lead you to this groundbreaking results?
Well, in the mid-90s, when I first graduated from pharmacy school, it was kind of a exciting time in my life because first time now I'm able to help people live the best years of their life with medicine. And quickly realized that oh my goodness, all we were doing is managing people's problems. We're not solving any problems.
Yeah.
And so quickly led to me, I said, this is not the way I would like to live my life. Financially was not making sense either because the sick care model was not going to pay you anything. People are not going to willing to pay for just staying sick. People are willing to pay for getting healthy. I said, okay, if I want to make some financial research, I want to gather those out. For that, I have to figure out in a health business to see people healthy. And like everything else, when you start looking at, when you start digging into research and trying to figure out what's out there, what can move the needle, right? And it all led to me is that, hey, I need to work on the master antioxidant glutathione. And at that time, it was kind of very, very difficult because people were talking about vitamin C. That's all they talked about is, hey, let's just get some vitamin C. And vitamin C research was like proliferating like crazy. Somebody came up to me and said, hey, can you make some liposome vitamin C? I said, well, what about glutathione? I said, no. Give me some vitamin C.
Not interested.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? It's all about vitamin C. What are you talking about?
It's all about vitamin C. And so we made the first liposome form of vitamin C in my lab. I said, you know what? Let me just make some glutathione as well, just so that I have a second product as well ready. And I quickly researched that it actually did not work very well. It got the results I was looking for, like in some of the patients, but not in all the patients. And so I thought there has to be a better, different way to do these things. And again, it's just one of those things that when you start looking at outcomes, and if you're not getting the outcomes, you say that the medicine is bad, the medicine is good, the science is good, but the only thing we could not figure out is it going where it's supposed to be? And the example I give is about money, right? What good is money if it's stuck in a bond where you have no access to it? I want money in my wallet. I want money to be spent today. I don't care if my CD is going to mature in 6 months from today. I'm not sure if I'm going to be alive for that long either. And so I want money to be in my wallet now, and so I can use it up. So what good is glutathione if the body doesn't have access to it? What good is it to us if the work the glutathione does is profound, but it's stuck in some part of the body that your body has no access to it? And so my job as a pharmacist, try to figure out, can I get this glutathione molecule from anywhere outside the human body, inside the body, where it's supposed to be, which is in the mitochondria. And so that's what led to all this research for me. Sorry, it's a long-winded answer, but
no, I loved it, and I want to dig into that. So, what was, take us on that journey from saying, okay, I understand that. Can we take it from external and bring it into the body, into the mitochondria, into the cell. How did that research, like, what was that journey for you, and what was the aha moment when you finally got it? Can you take us there?
Well, let me just tell you this one thing before I start to answer this question. Uh, I'm not as smart as you think I am. Okay. Only thing that I do know,
Says all the smart people in the world, by the way.
all I can tell you is that we don't need too many smart people. We just need people that are very highly observant, because
Mm,
everything is around us. And guess what we do? We don't observe everything. And
mhm,
so my job was just to keep on looking and at the signs that was unfolding in front of my eyes, right?
mm,
And so my first job was to, can I stabilize glutathione outside the human body in a bottle, right?
yeah.
If it's stable
Mhm,
in a bottle, I can figure out what to do next, right? And so my
mhm,
first job was to just to create a stable product. And as you can know, glutathione is a tripeptide. It's a three amino acid coming together. One of the amino acids, which is cysteine, which is highly reactive. It
mhm,
gets oxidized really fast in the open air if it comes in the contact with oxygen. So my first job was to put a chemical cap on the cysteine molecule. If I can put a chemical cap on there, that means it's still alive. It's not getting oxidized, but it
mm,
is kind of staying stable so that uh, it stays on the shelf for longer periods of time. So we have time to make it in the lab, get to the patients, use it for a month or two, and still have a chance of getting the results we're looking for. So that was my only goal I had, right? And
mhm,
hopefully that
mhm.
somebody else will take from that on and figure out what to do with it. So we figured that portion out very early on, um, in 2005, six, something like that. Very early
Mhm.
on, we figured that portion out. And long story short, nobody was coming to my rescue. Say, "Oh, I'll take from here onwards, and I'll do all the work." No, nobody's
Yeah,
gonna do
paddle
that.
your own canoe, as my
Yeah,
grandfather would say. It's like,
exactly.
where are they? I figured it out. Nope.
And so I started putting my mouth. It tastes awful. It did not work. It did not work either because the levels were not rising. I scored in
Mhm,
my nose, and it burned my nose off, of course, a little bit. It
mhm.
worked, but nobody's going to put a burning stuff in
Wasn't
the
pleasant.
nose all the time. It's not very pleasant either. And so the only route I had left that I thought was going to be good was a skin route. But the skin route was a little bit more difficult to, because the skin as a barrier is very protective of anything going
Mm,
inside, especially anything that is water based, right? If it's an oil based, kind of slow passive diffusion into the lipid layers of your skin can go slowly inside, but the water
yeah.
based product, forget about it. There's no chance, right? Otherwise, you
Mhm.
blow up in a shower, you just come out of it with this whole big water
The
all over your body.
pipes of the sides.
Yes, that doesn't work. And so uh, we were tinkering around with another molecule. I said, you know what? There has to be a way to get through the skin somehow. And we saw some research that was done in Japan early on. I said, you know what? How about we do this with glutathione? It's never been done before. And so we did it. Uh, and like everything else, you make a product, and if you don't get the results like immediately, you know what? Let me just shelf it. And so I had so many other things going in my life. At that time, I was making all kinds of intravenous medications I was preparing on. I was working with hypothalamic hormones and pituitary hormones. And I was going, I was this crazy kid on with a lab.
The
Don't give a crazy
scientist.
kid with a lab. I was making all kinds of medications, trying to figure out how can I improve patients' health. And so I
Mhm,
make the product and I shelved it. And a year later, when we're cleaning up the lab, I said, hey, let's just dump all the old stuff out. Uh, we looked at the product. I said, oh my God, this is still great. It still smells awful, right? It's still, well, but it's awful as a rotten egg.
same. Yeah.
The same. And about the same time, somebody in my lab had some kind of little burn in there, right? And of
Mhm,
course, we know the glutathione is great for burns. Rub it on, right? It's just, we have this product, rub it on. And
uh-huh.
to our surprise, oh my God,
Wow. What happened?
it the burn pain went away. It like instantaneously.
Wow.
Um, they applied for a couple more times and it completely healed the skin. I was just,
Wow.
okay, what happened? Maybe it's a burn, so the skin is already damaged, so it kind of went through that part. Is not an issue. So quickly, I said, you know what? Let me try myself. So I played myself and drew my
Mhm,
blood. I said, what happens? Boom, the glutathione levels went up. And so it was, even though we created about a year ago, we never really tested because, when you have too many things going on in your life, you don't test every single thing.
Yeah.
And that's when we had the aha moment. It's like, oh my God, we did create this one. It was just too early on that we didn't believe that our science was solid and we didn't believe in ourselves. But we keep
Mhm.
on observing results and we start seeing blood data that proved it to me that, okay, we did accomplish our goal a year ago.
That's so exciting, and I'm so glad that you decided to do some spring cleaning right a year later. You
Yes,
to
that's okay.
realize what you had on your hands is all. So, can you share with my audience, perhaps there's people unfamiliar with glutathione? You referred to as also the master antioxidant.
Hmm.
What is it exactly, and what are some of these amazing benefits? You were sharing about the burns, etc. But why do we want these high levels in our bodies to be maintained?
Yeah. Uh, So the glutathione, it's in the chemical terms, it's just a tripeptide coming three amino acid coming together. Peptides nowadays is the biggest buzzword in the world. People
Yeah.
are talking about peptides all over the world because they are the small building blocks that helps create this enormous amount of benefits in our health and wellness in our longevity journey. And so this is the simplest form of peptide. It's the most abundantly produced peptide in our human body. Uh, and so what is known for is two things. One is an antioxidant properties, which is what it does. It gives up its electrons. The free radical scavengers all over the body is hungry for an electron to get it neutralized. If not, that they're just going to bring havoc in our body. And so glutathione actually donates his electrons to kind of calm them down and get them neutralized. In that process, glutathione itself gets oxidized and it doesn't get destroyed, but gets oxidized. And with the help of something else, it can revive itself again. So there's a recycling process going on of glutathione as well. So that's one thing that is abundantly known everywhere. The second part is still learning, but we do know a few things about glutathione. Is the master detoxifier, and what it does is that it helps identify chemicals that are not part of the human production, right?
Mhm.
Because we produce all the chemicals that we need, we produce internally. We don't need to take from
Mhm.
outside sources, right? Only
Which
thing
is
we
great.
take from outside sources are the building blocks. I said, hey, give me all the nutrients I need, and I'll make my own stuff, right? Uh, but some of the chemicals that are not produced internally, and there's a byproduct of a chemical reaction, has to be neutralized and get rid of them. So the glutathione helps identify those chemicals, helps them neutralize it, and it helps them get rid of it. And that process is actually the most profound process that I think in my history of says, hey, antioxidants is great. I can take some vitamin C. I can do other things like that. But what I cannot do is have somebody get rid of all the toxic chemicals out of my body because there's
Mhm.
nothing much out there, right? And
Yeah.
so that to me led to a lot of different things. But in a simplest term, that's what glutathione is. And and we produce so much of it that my research led to me is to figure out, I said, when do we need it? Can your body produce enough?
Yeah.
Do I have to supplement with the glutathione or can I just improve my diet? Can I do other things to make sure my level never drops? Right?
Yeah, so let's touch on that, and it's particularly just to highlight a point about excreting those chemicals in our body, and I think now more than ever, people are waking up to the awareness of the amount of toxins that we have from the pesticides in our food to our environmental toxins, etc. So our body's being constantly pounded with it, and hence antioxidants like a glutathione are all the more important. But let's look at, what are the different factors that help with glutathione, right? Can it be through lifestyle, exercise, or do we have to take it as a supplementation? And how does that vary as we age?
So if you think about it, by the time you wake up and leave your house for the morning job, you're exposing yourself with about 70 different chemicals, from hair products to face products to brushing your teeth and putting all kinds of chemicals on our body, ingesting internally. It's a
Mhm.
lot of chemicals that our body has to process as soon as we wake up, right? And
Yeah, a
so,
lot.
so the two things that I always recommend is in order for you to be rich with glutathione in your body is you have to reduce expenses. The only way you get rich is you don't spend enough money, right? So if you get rich in glutathione, spend less of the glutathione on some things that is avoidable, right?
Yeah.
If you can avoid using full of chemical toxic products on your body, avoid as much as possible. I don't say avoid every single thing because you still have to live your life, uh, but avoid as much as possible.
Yeah.
Right. And we know the solvent, which is we drink knowingly, and it comes in like 1,000 different flavors, and they taste really good, which is alcohol. But in reality, it's just a solvent. As a chemistry guy, I'm telling you, it's a solvent, and
Yeah.
solvents are not good for you, right?
Yeah.
But if just because
Yeah.
it's flavored so beautifully, I said, "Oh my God, this is amazing." It's still a solvent, and the body uses up all your glutathione reserves to kind of neutralize it, break it apart, and try to get rid of it, right? So if you,
Just a point on that, right? So people listening, they're like, "Oh, Dr. Patel, like I like my, glass of wine on a Friday night. So what should I do?" Right? And obviously we've talked about, non-alcohol use and alternatives on the podcast before, but what would you recommend? Is it like if you know you're going to go out for a drink or a few drinks on a Friday evening, do you stock up in advance on the glutathione, or is it on the Saturday then you take your glutathione? What would you recommend, or both?
both, absolutely both, because glutathione actually does not get rid of the buzz. What it does, it processes the alcohol in your liver. So um, I would do both. I would apply the glutathione before you go for the night out, and as soon
Mhm.
as you come home, you're still buzzing, and apply it afterwards
Good
actually
on
as
that
well.
glutathione.
I have so I stopped drinking, but when I used to have a glass of wine or something like once or twice a
Mhm.
month, I would probably apply about triple or quadruple the dose before I said drink. Even if I
Wow.
have two glasses of wine, even one glass
Mhm.
of wine, I'll
Mhm.
apply like triple or quadruple the dose before I start drinking, and maybe another half a dose, another like a double. When I say half of the highest amount I took,
Mhm.
maybe double the dose again after I stop drinking. So within 4 hours, right?
So
I,
that's how potent alcohol is essentially. It's so
It
depleting.
is so depleting, and make sure that people need to hydrate themselves because it does take away a lot of the water out of the system,
Mhm.
and so make sure to drink lots of water as well. But yeah, that was my protocol when I used to drink, but now that I've stopped drinking, uh,
Even better.
I I don't have to worry about it. But I do
Yeah.
have to worry about it because when I travel a lot, I
Mhm.
do travel a lot, and going from conferences to conferences every day, almost every week I'm out of town, and
Mhm.
I do have to load up myself with lots of glutathione because my oxidative stress is extremely high. So
Mhm.
for
So I
those
think that
reasons,
for
yeah.
people to note also, maybe you can explain, right? So why is travel such an, impact for glutathione levels? Maybe you can expand on that so people who
I will
travel
explain
a
on
lot
that as
understand.
well. Let me just
Yeah.
finish up the first question you
Sorry,
asked
of course.
earlier.
Yes.
I want to go in the orders. I don't know if people
Sure.
lose the audience either. So
Yeah.
anyway, stop the expenses. That's number one.
Yes.
Number two is that make sure your diet is healthy enough that contains the three amino acids, glycine, glutamine, and cysteine. That in your diet will help produce enough glutathione. So I would say majority of the people, they don't have a gene mutations, they don't have a gene SNPs, they don't have any issues with production of glutathione. They should be able to take those amino acids, give it to the body, and the body takes those amino acids, combine them together with two ATP molecules, one NAD molecule, two enzymes. I mean, there's a process behind that, all the process,
Mhm.
and the body will make its own glutathione. And trust me, you don't have to do anything except for eating healthy diet, right? Body will
Mhm.
take care of the rest. And so uh, either have a proper diet or make sure you reduce expenses or do both. I'll absolutely do both. Even by doing both of them together and having completely clean life, about the age of 30, 35-ish, your body's actual need for glutathione and what your body can produce, there's a slight difference. Your body
From
cannot
35.
produce that even at the age of 30, 35, it starts. I'm not sure the exact time. Everybody's a little bit different. But about the
Sure.
age of 30 to 35 is when we start seeing the discrepancy between how much your needs are and how much your body can produce. Because like it or not, we're still not going to give up our modern day conveniences ever. Right. And so there's always going to be some little bit of oxidative stress. It's always going to be there, and our ability to produce enough glutathione is there, but it's not going to keep up with the demand all the time as we start aging. And the energy production goes down as well. The ATP production goes down. Energy production goes down in our body as well. So there's slight discrepancy that happens. And then what happens, the discrepancy over time gets doubled in the differences, because now your needs are higher because you have more toxins and you can produce enough
Mhm.
glutathione. The needs are getting higher and higher and higher. And so supplementation may become uh, advantageous at that point. And so having the right supplementation that actually improves the glutathione levels without having the body do the extra work is what my research was. And I mean, if you look at oxidative stress, with the question you asked me about traveling, oxidative stress is, I mean, we all know oxygen is cause oxidative stress, right? But
Mhm.
we cannot tell everybody to stop breathing. We still need oxygen, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Nitrogen is bad for you, but I mean, without nitrogen, nitric oxide, your body cannot function. So even though these are all good gases that we need in our body, excess is what I'm talking about. Or
Mhm.
after the job is done, they need to be neutralized and get rid of it. That's what I'm talking about. So even though they're good for you, it's the how long it stays inside the body is what I'm worried about. And when you're traveling, going in this aluminum chute, so to speak, in a 30,000 feet up above the Earth, and you are basically have zero protection against cosmic rays. And
Mhm.
that's another issues. uh the people that fly the most are the one that exposed to a lot of cosmic rays. We have little protection against from ozone layer, and so we have to worry about what kind of mutations are we going to get because have overexposure to cosmic rays. And again, there's plenty of studies that are out there that talks about that the more you fly, the faster you age. And so my job is that I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure my antioxidant levels are super high. I mean,
Mhm.
when I travel, and this is my own experiment. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Like, what's your protocol? Share. Please
I
share.
usually apply
Mhm.
about 4 sprays of my product twice a day at my home. That's all I use. Anything more than that, I get that sense that it's too much, because if you have too much of glutathione, it gets you rashes and itching all over the body. That means you have too much of glutathione. And so, but when I travel, I'll probably put down at least triple or quadruple the dose twice a day,
Wow.
and I still do not get rashes.
Wow.
And so
The
what this
depletion is
tell
so fast.
yeah, so it was
Incredible.
So I was talking when I was doing my own research. I was saying, "Hey, this is crazy. When I travel, I can apply as much as I want, and I don't see any levels of toxicity in my body.
Mhm.
But if I apply the same amount at home, oh my god, oof, it's just full of rashes, right? So I know
Wow.
it's too much at home because I'm much more calmer, quieter, you know. Plus, my dog comes and gives me hugs, so my stress goes down extremely low. You know how that
Oxytocin
is.
goes up. You're happy.
But yeah, so traveling is put a lot of oxidative stress. And when
Mhm.
I'm on the airport or in the plane, I cannot stop but noticing how many people pound alcohol. It doesn't matter if it's 5 in the morning or 5 in the evening or midnight. It doesn't really matter,
I've
you know.
noticed this too. Yeah.
And if I got lucky and got in the business class, people are pounding down on alcohol like, hey, that's free alcohol. So I says, it's not free. Your body's paying the price. Your
Yep.
body is
Mhm.
paying the price.
Yeah.
And so I don't judge people for that particular reason, but I do see that people do need help.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that those people that are traveling a lot, consuming alcohol on the flight and before they go on the flight, to up their glutathione levels.
Yeah, for sure. I want to understand the different modalities. So you said you were, testing it in your mouth and in your nose and spraying it in your nose and then on your skin as well. There are other modalities like of mixing it in water, etc. Like, what is your view on the different modalities of delivery of glutathione? And you've landed on spraying, so I assuming that that's the most effective, or what would you say?
Well, the spray was, again, you let the science lead you because nothing
Hmm.
else was working.
Hmm.
And so when we applied on the skin is when we found out that it was working through the skin. But before that, in 1999, we made the first liposomal form of glutathione, which is it's a orange, yellowish liquid that you encompass the glutathione inside, bypasses the stomach, so it has a very good chance of absorption through the intestines. That was the whole purpose of making liposome technology product. Uh, but when we saw that it worked on a lot of patients, it did not work on everybody.
Hmm.
So I couldn't pinpoint it down as to why this was not working on everybody, why it wasn't only working on certain people. The research was kind of spotty at that time. People said that, hey, if you take glutathione, you're going to get all these results. I said, okay, I can see the results are coming in, but how? How is it getting there, right?
Hmm.
Can I get the results on every single human being on this planet, right? And the medication will tell you, oh, this does not work on everybody, only works on some people. And my job as a pharmacist is why?
Yeah.
Where does it need to be, and can I get there, right? And so liposome did not work for me, and later on in 2011, the researchers did some trials, and they found out was actually the liposome form of glutathione it did work on people, that it raised the levels like a couple of weeks later. But the way it was doing is it was that when you take the by mouth, the body actually broke down the peptide into amino acids. Amino acids gets easily absorbed, and then amino acid crosses the skin barrier or the cell barrier and gets inside your cell, and that's where the body takes those amino acids and makes into glutathione again,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
And so
Uh-huh.
I said, okay, even though I knew something was not right, somebody
Hmm.
else did the research in 2011 to prove that point.
Mm.
So I moved on from liposome form in 2001 to injectable form of glutathione.
Hmm.
And so I said, hey, you know what? I'm just going to inject it straight into the bloodstream, right?
Yeah.
So we were making the injectable form of glutathione. And injectable form of glutathione, there was a research done in 1991, which I was not aware of it because I didn't get the research on time. And I saw that glutathione, I can give any dose I wanted to give them, and people will feel fine. There was no side effects from it. I said, okay, then why was no issues with it? In 1991, the research was done when they gave a big dose of glutathione, like 2 grams of glutathione, which is a very, very high dose of glutathione.
Mm.
And what they found out was that when they drew the blood, everything, all the glutathione was in the plasma, which is not the blood cells, but the water part of the blood. It was
Mm.
there, and nothing was in the blood cells. I said, okay. But they also saw an increase of cysteine in the blood. Where did the cysteine come from? We didn't give any cysteine. So the researchers concluded that glutathione was actually getting broken down, and the cysteine was getting reabsorbed.
Mm.
And so even though it worked, what do you care if it's working by cysteine or glutathione? Hey, it works, right? So people that say, as long as it's working, I'm fine. Leave it alone.
Mhm.
Let's not reinvent the wheel. And so I was making the glutathione IVs, and I for a long time, for 20 years, I was making it, and the results were sporadic, right? There's one doctor who did research on Parkinson's, who injected a big dose of glutathione, got great results, but did not get the results on every patient.
Mhm.
Or maybe the patient did not have glutathione deficiency. That's why the Parkinson's is a little bit different. And for me, it did not jive very well, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so my thing was always been looking for, I said, hey, how does it actually works? And so all this technology that's out there, capsules, liquids, injections, and topicals, and whatever, right? Unless you have a technology that can actually bypasses the skin barrier, the cell barrier, cell barrier is more intact than the skin. The skin you can laser it off, you can put it in a sauna and open up the pores. You can break the skin with some needles and just pour it in there. You can break the skin barrier,
Yeah.
but you cannot break the cell barrier.
Mhm.
And so getting from a skin barrier into the cell barrier, into the intracellular level. That's what it needs to be at, right? And
Mhm.
so with our technology, and again, it was so far ahead of the schedule because the world was not ready yet. When I first
Yeah.
discovered 2007, we were not ready because there was no literature out there to support what I was doing. And so I said, I can't release this product to the public because I don't know what to do. I
Yeah.
just did not know what to do. It took me
Yeah.
13 more years to work on it with countless physicians all over the United States and a few people outside the country as well, and try to give me some data as to, hey, man, this is how it's working. This is what's working. It's not working. And so 13 years of research, finished writing my book because I had documented every single thing I did. So I finished my book with all the stories that I got from my patients and all the results I got from my patients. And then eventually we launched the company, uh, knowingly very well that this product is, if it goes in your skin, there's two things have to happen. It has to feel good. It has to smell good. And my product smells like rotten eggs and feels extremely sticky.
So it didn't tick the boxes essentially, but we
But
know how toxic perfumes are, so maybe it's good that it doesn't have a smell. Dearest friends, I want you to experience the power of glutathione for yourself, so I'm hosting a special giveaway. Glutathione is a powerful antioxidant found in the body that decreases as you age. It's key to your body's detoxification, immune function, skin health, and enhancing energy levels. We're giving away 3 glutathione glutarol sprays from Auro Wellness, developed by leading glutathione expert Dr. Nayan Patel. To enter to win, head over to Instagram or Facebook, links in the description, and number 1, tag 3 friends in the comments below, and number 2, share your biggest takeaway from my latest podcast episode on glutathione with Dr. Nayan Patel. The giveaway ends on November 13th, and winners will be contacted via DM shortly thereafter. So go check it out, and good luck.
exactly. But so anyway, so that's where we are at. And so there's a lot of technology products that are out there. This is the only one that actually bypasses all the barriers and get inside where it's supposed to go, where the results are going to be sort of instantaneously. Now,
Mhm.
and when I say instantaneous results, what I'm talking about is that there's a certain subset of people, and this is the last 10 years of research that's coming out now, right? And over the last
Mhm.
10 years, the gene testing or the gene snips testing has become so affordable.
Mhm.
Before it used to cost you $5,000 to $10,000 and only available to the rich and famous, right? And
Yeah.
even if they did the testing, the doctors had not learned all the different things they can do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but today the same test costs you $500. So a lot of people are doing some gene snips testing, some GPX testings. They're called all DNA type testings companies out there right now. They do all these testings, and what we are finding out is there's a huge subset of people that cannot conjugate glutathione. So you can take all the products in the world that gets broken down, absorb the cysteine, and remix it again. And if your body cannot make it again, guess what? You're out of luck.
Yeah. There's no point.
So
So how do
that's
you
where we
help?
are.
Yeah, how do you help the those people?
So that's what. So with our product, the one we created, it doesn't rely on any conjugation pathways.
Yeah. So
It
it
goes to
it
your skin, goes in the cell.
leapfrogs it essentially.
Exactly, it goes to.
Mhm.
It's like you don't have to work to get your money in your wallet. Imagine that, right? Well, in that case, I'm going to become lazy. I said, yeah, that's up to you. But yeah, the body doesn't become lazy because there's a glutathione coming to your body
Mhm.
completely intact to be used. Because keep in mind, to make glutathione, you need energy. You need two ATP molecules and one NAD molecules. And that ATP and NAD is used in literally millions of chemical reactions in your body every single day.
Mhm.
So if we have all this energy that you're saving from producing glutathione, which is the number one molecule in your body, now that energy is being used to help get all the other chemical reactions in your body optimized.
Yeah.
And so over time, you start seeing the results within 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months, and 3 months later, you get it, your body's getting optimized over and over again. Right.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
so that's what this is all about, is that I'm not saying that this is going to, well, I am saying that it's going to increase your lifespan, or your longevity. But what I'm saying is that your body is resilient enough to regenerate and rejuvenate as the time goes by, because now the biggest molecule the body produces has been delivered. And by doing so, I'm sparing all this energy. This energy is used to have all the other body functions work efficiently.
So exciting. And can you share some of your favorite client patient stories from over the years that really blew you away, or your favorite ones? What would they be, Nayan?
Well, there's two or three, because these are all my family members, because they were the only one who had access to it for the last 15 years plus, right?
Hmm.
So my dad, bless his soul, he's not with us today. It was an unfortunate death, but I'll tell you his story. It's just absolutely amazing. So at the age of 78, he had type 2 diabetes, he had arthritis, blood pressure issues. He was traveling, I believe, Australia or New Zealand for about a couple of months, and he went for a vacation. He was single because my mom passed away 25 years ago, so he was single. So he was traveling the world, like, just it was a chore for him. So when he goes someplace, he probably kind of settles in. He doesn't want to fly for 1 week or so, right?
Okay,
Settled in.
good for him.
He came back. He came back and had a lot of shortness of breath. And so we scheduled an angiograph, and what we found out that his main artery was completely blocked,
Wow.
99% blocked. And the doctor goes, "Oh my God, how the hell did you survive in the first place?" So put a
Yeah.
stent in there. Of course, a list of medication came out from the hospital. Comes home, and my dad goes, "What do I do?" I said, "Well, one thing is, you don't have a cholesterol issue, so why are you taking anti-cholesterol pills? Your blockage was not because of cholesterol, but something else."
Yeah.
And so your oxidative stress was very, very high because of arthritis and diabetes. And so I said, "Dad, we have this molecule. We just discovered it in my lab, and I'm going to be using you on you're my first patient." He goes, "Well, whatever you think is right for me, right?" So of course I didn't take him off all the medications, but I gave him some medications and started using the glutathione. 2 years later, we didn't even think about it. We were just sitting down, and he was 80 at that time. And he goes, "You know what? I really feel good now." And so I said, "Dad, you do look good.
Mhm.
You do look good. I think it's the stress, your mental stress is down because everything is functioning fine." And then he shared me his data because he was doing his blood sugar testing. My sugar has not risen in over a year. I
Wow.
said, "What?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, let me go to the doctor's office." I do a 3 months test and say that his levels were normal, like
Wow.
like no
So he's
diabetes.
reversed his diabetes
Well, it's not reversing. It's what it is. It's reverses insulin resistance.
resistance. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because he still became a diabetic again when he had a surgery on his knee, like 10 years later. He still became a little bit diabetic for about 6 months again. So the diabetes does not go away, but you go into some what we call remission, right?
Remission. Okay,
Right.
like in
So
cancer.
he went backwards.
Wow.
So it was 2 years later. I figured, okay, what else?
Amazing.
What else? And he goes, "You know what? I have no pain in my joints."
Mhm.
I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm walking 6 miles per day now." He was walking 6 miles a day at the age of 80. He was doing gardening in the backyard. California, beautiful weather. We do gardening in the backyard. He wants to grow fresh tomatoes and all those eggplants and whatever he wants to eat,
Amazing.
right? So he grows
Amazing.
it. He works in the backyard. He does everything. And I started noticing that, oh my God, he's getting healthier and healthier. And he started getting comments from all his friends. I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "You look so healthy, you know?"
Mm.
And his hair was always there. He's not like me. He had a full set of hair then until the day he died. And so that was the best thing I could have seen. And then fast forward to this year, he just passed away this year at the age of
Mm,
89.
okay.
And he
Mhm.
was traveling the world. He started traveling everywhere, right? Everything,
Amazing.
picks up the bags and just leaves, right? He goes to India, goes to Africa, and he comes back over here after 3 months. But he does everything on his own. At the age of 88, 89, he was still
Impressive.
traveling, doing everything on his own, open the house, get the people to come and help him clean up the house and get all these things, just groceries and food. He takes care of everything on his own. He doesn't
Brilliant.
need any help from anybody. And at one point, he had His hands were kind of weak because of arthritis. His type 2 diabetes was out of control. He was a little bit overweight. Now he's completely weight was back to normal. And then he went a little crazy this year. I think he had some street food. He got diarrhea from it,
Mm.
got dehydrated, and boom, fell down, broke his
Wow.
skull, and
Oh,
a day later he was gone.
oh, I'm
And
so
and
sorry.
even half an hour before he passed away, even half an hour before, he FaceTimed all of us. He was
Oh, I'm
talking
so
to us
sorry.
like I'll be there next week. Don't worry about it, right?
Yeah,
And
totally
so
fine.
even today, I feel so comfortable talking about him is because you know why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You have no memories. I have zero memories from him for him suffering.
Yeah,
Zero,
yeah,
right? Even
yeah.
though half an hour before he passed on, he was talking to us like there was no end, right?
And full of energy
It's full of
and
energy.
vitality and all the rest of it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I
So
mean,
so
how
that was the
tragic.
so it was tragic, but at the same time, guess what? I want that death.
Well, very
Pick,
true. Exactly. If
pick
you're
me,
gonna go, go like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
pick me
yeah,
up from a golf course. Pick me up from somebody where I'm enjoying my life and doing what I love to do. When my
yeah,
time is up, please don't give me disease. Just pick me up, and I'm okay with it. Right? Just
yeah.
pick me,
I'm with you. I agree.
right.
I
And so
agree. I know.
that's my favorite
Yeah,
story. The second
yeah.
story that I have was I had a mom with an autistic child that
Mhm.
the I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Take your time. Yeah.
I had an autistic child, and the mom was absolutely hasn't slept for 7 years
Wow.
because the kid was just too hyper and would not go to sleep. And just imagine the parents haven't slept for 7 years. It's kind of distraught a little bit, right?
Yeah.
They used the glutathione, and in 2 weeks, I got a humongous letter. I said, I just woke up. I slept for 7 hours for the first time. And it's so, that really tells you. And when the story comes around, you're so ready to, oh my God, I need to launch this product. I need to launch this product. Right. And then I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
oh no, I gotta
Yeah.
wait. I gotta wait. I have to wait. And so many different things like that happened. One more story was there was a billionaire client in Utah, uh, and he was wheelchair bound, suicidal because he had the neuralgias, which was secondary to some viral infection he had years ago. And
Mm,
because of the virus infection, he developed neuralgias in his lower extremities. He couldn't walk,
mm,
right? And
mhm.
all the money in the world. I mean, he can fly anywhere in his private jet, right? Anywhere he
Yeah.
wants to go. And he had 24/7 watch because he would have killed himself because the way he was suffering.
Mm, mhm.
And 30 days later, he got out of his wheelchair with a cane. Oh my God. Just
Wow.
imagine I'm getting call from his lawyer to try to figure out what can I do to help you,
Wow.
right?
That's amazing.
And I wish I
Wow.
took some help from it because I was not ready yet because no, I never thought that people would be willing to pay me to do more research, right? Because
Mhm.
until now, nobody had paid me ever. And so I started looking at that kind of this as, okay, you know what? And then shortly after that, he passed away because he had some other disease. He was already 91 years old. But for
Mhm.
him to walk for the first time at the age of 91 was like
Incredible.
amazing. It's incredible. Anyways, I can go on. I
I
got so
love
many
these
stories.
stories. No, but it's so exciting. So my mother in 2020 had a very bad fall. She had it turned out then there was blood clots in her legs. It went to her lungs. Her blood oxygen levels were so low, caused her to faint. But she must have really fallen like a plank. Opened the back of her head. She had hemorrhaging, but in the ventricles, not in the brain matter, thankfully. But anyway, so it was this whole series of events as well. And it propelled her dementia. So my audience is familiar with this
Mm,
fact. And last year she had a fall and she was in hospital and they kept her in for a week and she essentially forgot how to walk. And now she's been in a wheelchair since. And I'm listening to this and I like, I need to get her more glutathione. Like, let's try
yeah.
this. Yeah. And to see what's possible. I mean, is there any situations that it's not helpful? And would you recommend to many people suffering different things to just give it a try, just to take it and see, how it impacts them? Or are there some cases would you say you have to, keep away from it?
So, so if you have physical damage, right? If you have
Mhm.
physical damage, like if you have a broken arm, it's not going
Yeah,
to fix a broken arm. So it's not a
sure.
it's not a physical issue. It's a chemistry issue.
Yeah.
And so anybody, so I always go back to uh, why people die today, right? So if you look at the top 10 cause of death in the world, and if you take one of them out of them, which is number four, or three, or number four is accidents, right?
Hmm.
If you take it
Yeah.
out of there, all the other nine causes are linked to oxidative stress, right? And
Hmm.
so for the oxidative stress, our body is well equipped to deal with it by producing enough glutathione.
Mm.
And so when I say that can gluten help with any diseases or any conditions or any issues that you have, I have absolutely zero idea how oxidative stress is manifesting in your body.
Hmm.
And so I always tell people that try it because I have no idea how it's going to help you. But if you're going to try this part, be extremely diligent to know and reflect on yourself to see what changes are happening in your body. And that's the most difficult part because most people don't even know what they have, right?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I say somebody that, hey, you do look little overweight. Am I? I never noticed that part, right? I mean, they're not overweight at all, but sometimes there's a little bit overweight. Oh, I didn't notice that part because they don't see themselves in the mirror good long enough to understand. Okay, I have this issues. Physical issues with what you see with your eyes,
Hmm.
they notice that part. Oh, I have a spot over here. My wrinkles getting over here. They notice those kinds of things. But what they do not notice is how the body is deteriorated in terms of energy because it's the subtle changes. How the body's
Yeah.
not able to function as normally as like it used to before. Why can I bend can I twist my body like I used to do before? And so everything is kind of settling in as you age, and you're accepting the fact that you're aging, right?
Yeah.
And so
Hmm.
I tell everybody, give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. We do offer 100% money back because I have no idea how it's going to help you. And if you look at the stories I get every single day. My phones, I get emails on my phones from my staff. Anytime I get a success stories or a failure, please email it to me directly. So I see my staff forwards everything to me, and I get so much joy out of that
Beautiful.
because the reason I'm doing all this work is guess what? Because I want to change people's lives, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
whole purpose of it. I'm still a pharmacist. I still have a pharmacy. I still work in a pharmacy as well. I still see patients. Well, not so many, but I still work with doctors and help design drug plans for everybody, even today's date. But the real joy comes in when somebody emails me and said, "Oh my God, I heard you on this podcast, and my life's changed." That's why I do what I
Beautiful.
do. That's why I do what I do today.
Yeah, and having that strong why is amazing. And when you have a product that you know has such an amazing impact,
Yeah.
and with this glutathione peptide is just so exciting as well. What is some areas where you wish people would know more about it? And particularly around maybe healthcare practitioners. Why is it not more widely spread? Like, what would you like to see in the next months and years in terms of knowledge, information distribution around glutathione?
Well, my urge right now, I'm heavily interested in educating the physicians at this point. I do this kind of interviews with a lot of podcast celebrities, and the reason is because I do want to make sure the masses get the first experience as well, because doctors honestly don't have time to talk to the patients anymore. They just don't
Yeah,
have time. But
it's so
when they
sad.
do, but I want them to recommend this product. Uh, and when they recommend this product, I know for a fact they don't have time to explain all the benefits of it. And so talking like this today is basically all you're doing for me at this point is you're just reinforcing what the doctor just told the patient that, hey, this is what you need,
Hmm.
right? And they can
Yeah,
listen to us and say, okay, now I understand why my doctor told me to take this product, right?
yeah,
Because doctors they just write prescriptions. Hey, here's a prescription. Go get your pharmacy, pick one up. This is not a prescription item. It's over the counter. And so the doctor says, oh, use this product. Well, what am I supposed to do with it? What am I going to feel? How am I going to do? And the doctors honestly don't have time to do the expense. So my job is to educate the physician first, so they're willing to recommend. because they're the one going to be looking at all the markers, doing the blood test, and see the improvement, right? And when they see the
Yeah,
improvement, they know exactly where it came from,
exactly.
right? And
Can you share where people can find the product,
oh
the
yeah,
name of it, etc.? Yeah, just
it's
so
the product name is called Glutaril, and I'm so sorry. If you give a pharmacist to name a product, they're going to give a chemical name to it. So it's Glutaril.
and
Uh,
we'll link it on the in the show notes for everybody listening or watching.
And
Yeah.
the website is aurowellness.com, AURO wellness.com. And of course, there are a lot of women consumers that are out there. They are also into the skin health. And so the same technology, guess what? I can deliver a lot of different molecules inside all your cells. So we create a whole skincare line as well with it. Same exact product, same exact technology. I can deliver vitamin C, CoQ10, L-carnosine, resveratrol, cycloestragenol, DME, and glutathione, everything for your skin health.
Amazing.
Because skin is only 6 square inches, but yet it requires a lot of nutrients. You don't have enough space to put out 10 different creams. So our
No.
technology, we can combine everything and give you some small regimen as well. So anyways, that's
And
it's at
you have great skin,
oralwellness.com.
so
Thank you.
clearly
Yeah.
it works very well as well.
And one thing I want to mention before we
Sure.
do anything further is that people always ask me about longevity.
Hmm.
I said, what can I do to increase longevity? Right? Is there a longevity product? And I said, if you live longer, don't die. I mean, it's simple, right? It's simple.
Yeah.
Just don't
Yeah.
die. And a lot of people die prematurely. Like last 20 years of the nursing home, they already dead 20 years ago, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Even the physical body is gone today, but they were dead a long time ago. So please don't die. Listen, right? Listen to
Mhm.
you. Listen to other people. Listen to everybody. Live a long life, and hopefully that I will be able to give you the joy and the pleasure to use your body, the physical body, by reversing some of the toxic load that has been out there. So hopefully you can enjoy the body as well while you're still living your life.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, exactly. I think it's really making the health span, right? Living in the highest version of yourself today for as long as possible, right? So I think people sometimes like, oh, longevity and who wants to be 150? And it's not about reaching a certain age, for me at least. It's more about living those beautiful years of vibrant energy really well for as long as possible, whatever that number might be. And then, as you shared in the beautiful story with your father, then I think, a quick ticket out
That's it.
is not a bad thing. Exactly. Let's talk about some emerging antioxidant research. Is there any research that are areas that you're really excited about? Do you expect to see in the next sort of 1 to 3 years?
So in my lab with this technology now, I can work on peptides. I can work on some other molecules. We have worked on NAD molecule. At this point, we have a stable NAD product in my lab at this time for the last 4 or 5 years. We've been testing it out on ourselves. I'm not too happy yet. And if I'm not too happy, I'll never release a product until I'm fully convinced it's going to do some great things for you. So I'm not too happy. So it's still more work to do. We are working on another GHK peptide. That one is ready. That one we've been testing it out for a couple of years as well, and that one shows some promises out there. And so we are working on that as well. We have a couple more peptides that we're working on, some fish proteins as well, because I need to do both ends. I need to also take care of the skin
Mhm.
for beautification, but a lot of the stuff the skin needs. But skin is the largest organ we have.
Yeah.
So whatever your skin needs, so does your heart, so does your liver, so does your lungs. And so I don't see skin as just for beautification. I'm seeing skin as an organ. I say, hey, what do the skin needs? And can I get the same thing for other organs as well? And so,
Mhm.
so I'm working on those few different peptides right now. Um, if I get another maybe 1 or 2 products in my lifetime, would be I'll see myself accomplished, and hopefully somebody will take on my research from here onwards and to create more products for you guys in the future.
Yeah, maybe someone listening here is like, "Oh, this is a great idea."
Yes,
I'll
exactly.
get in touch and I'll ask you shortly where people can find you. But I'm curious, like, what are your daily habits, daily routines, daily
Ah,
rituals to keep you in such vibrant health and thriving and doing so many amazing things?
so I right before I came here, I probably had at least 2 liters of water in the
Hmm.
first, because as soon as I wake up in the first 2 hours, I'll probably have at least 2 to 3 liters of water, right?
And with fresh lemon or just purified water
Purified water.
straight?
Well, recently I'm drinking the hydrogen water.
Uh-huh.
I'm testing it out. I see a lot of benefits on the literature out there. I personally have not noticed a lot of benefits. And again, that's why I'm very into my own body, trying to understand every single thing, how it works and how it does not work. So I'm
Yeah.
not poo-pooing the idea about hydrogen water at all. All I'm saying is that for me, I still drink it every single day. And if
Mm-hmm.
there's subtle changes, I don't notice it, right? So
They're
I'm
harder
not
to notice.
it's hard
Yeah.
to notice. So I'm not stopping. I'm still doing it every single day as well. So that's one thing I do. Meditate in the morning every day, and it's combine that with gratitudes. Uh, there's so much
Hmm.
things to look in life positively that I don't want anything negative bringing me down at all. Uh, so that's one thing. I have so many gadgets in my lab, in my house too. That one thing that I try to do whenever I'm home, I will get it in the hyperbaric chamber.
Hmm.
That's one thing that I would do for sure. I still, even today's date, I'll still take cold showers. I start with a little bit of like a lukewarm shower, and then end up with a cold shower by the end of the
Cool.
day. I'm still
You're a
complete
full
cold shower.
biohacker here, Nayan.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I mean, I got all kinds of things. I even got this charger unit that I use in my house once in a while. Again, I try all kinds of things. I
What
do.
type of charger unit? I'm curious.
It's called a
What is it?
biocharger.
Uh-huh. I know it, sure.
So
I've had them on the podcast as well.
so you
Yeah.
do.
A beautiful
So
energy. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I've used that part, and I have not seen any benefits for me personally, but my wife sees a lot of benefits herself.
Hmm.
So she's been using it a lot more than I am using right now, but that's okay. I do
Yeah.
have a masseuse that I do twice a week minimum,
Amazing.
and he is absolutely amazing for me.
Brilliant.
Uh,
Yeah.
I just go there, lie down, and basically just he knows exactly where things are going, and he'll tell me, "Oh, you've been traveling a lot because your hip is out of alignment, or this thing is not good, and whatnot." Or he will check my colon and say, "Yeah, stop eating foods that you cannot digest properly." So this masseuse is just
He
beyond
knows
this
everything.
world. He knows a lot
Amazing.
more about me than myself itself. So I go to him at least twice a week. Uh, what else? I mean, I got so much stuff. Um,
So much fun. Yeah, but you've
so much
named
fun.
some great ones there. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think what I'm really hearing though from, because you've such a very positive, optimistic sort of outlook as well. And I think what you were saying as well is that gratitude practice and know that there's so many beautiful things there and
yes.
not just to focus on the negative. So you're just spreading this beautiful energy and creating all these beautiful products to help people. So that's absolutely wonderful.
No, thank
Nayan,
you.
where can people follow and find out more what you are up to, be it social media or website? Where do you want to direct
Yeah.
people to?
So social media, my personal social media is at Nayan Oro, but I don't post anything, so please don't follow me over there. All my posting I do at Auro Wellness, Auro Wellness. That's my Instagram, but that's my team will take care of that one. But you can go to the website at aurowellness.com, aurowellness.com, and subscribe to the newsletter, because that's where I try to write at least one article a week. All my research that I do, we have published 3 articles in the last 3 years, and we are funding more and more research. Everything that I do, I fund my own research. I don't get money from anybody else. So you support me, I'll support the research, and we'll keep on bringing out more information for everybody to learn, because people have taken care of me, because I didn't invent anything, right? I didn't invent the phone, but we enjoy the luxury of the phone. We didn't invent the car, we feel the luxury of the car. But I want those people to survive and thrive, because they're going to create better products for me to make my life easier. And so I want to do the same thing for other people that cannot make good medicine. I want to do it for them. So everything that I do, I want to put back my time and energy into funding the further research so that people can enjoy the benefits of it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on today, Nayan. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you to your audience for listening and tuning in as well. And yeah, when the next products are out or papers, it would be a pleasure to have you on for round 2.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming today.
Mm-hmm.